Whether it is trying to do a business or trying to bribe somebody or trying to arrange a marriage or going to a market trying to buy something or going for shopping in a shopping mall or go and trade in a stock market, all efforts put in these activities are towards one goal and only one goal. It is profit. And we never we never get profit all the time. There are some times when we get loss. So profit and loss is unavoidable in all the activities that we do. So understanding profit and loss is also unavoidable. So today's topic is profit and loss. Welcome to Sixth Phase, the finishing school. My name is Saravana. So we'll get started. The first term you should understand in profit and loss is the cost price. When you're trying to do a trading, when you're trying to trade something, when you're trying to sell something, there is something that you understand as the cost price. The cost price is the sum of all investments made by the seller on the product which he intends to sell. So this cost price could be anything. This cost is whatever is the investment that he is making on a product which he is planning to sell comes under cost price. So if I can give you some examples, the examples would be like this. It would be cost of raw materials. It could be repairing a faulty item that he is trying to sell. It could be cost of production, the cost that he takes up in production. It could be some things that are not mentioned here. It could be things like wages to laborers. It could be electricity bills for the office, rentals for the office. So these types of costs are divided into direct costs, indirect costs. You will call the cost of raw materials as direct costs. You call electricity and rentals as indirect costs. So, but all these come under costs. They are the costs that are incurred by the seller. The seller is incurring this cost. So this is the cost price. So cost price in general is all these costs put together. Now, what is selling price? Selling price is the final price at which the seller is able to sell his product. We have a product. For example, let's take the product which is, let us take um, uh, let us take a shirt. Okay, now a shirt costs 2000 rupees. So the actual cost of the shirt is 2000 rupees. But do you think people are going to buy at this price? People are going to pay 2000 rupees and buy at this price? No, they'll ask for a discount. Usually, because discount is so popular, what happens is people, there is no shop that doesn't have a discount. Every shop has a discount because discounts are popular. Without discounts, you cannot be in competition with your next door neighbor. Okay, your neighbor might be some other seller who's giving more discounts than what you're doing. So discounts forms a very integral part of any type of transaction. So here, while you're trying to buy a shirt, he would say the discount is 10 percentage. He would say the discount is 10 percentage. So you are not buying at this price. So I'd say you are not actually buying at this price. Now, you are what price if you are buying, depends upon the discount. Here the discount is 10%, which 10% comes to around 200. So the final price that you will buy is this. This is the final price. 1800 is the final price you buy. And guys, this final price is what I call as selling price. So this final price is what I call as selling price. So I clearly say this price is the selling price. Now what is markup price? So let us see what is markup price. Now the price before applying discounts is the markup price. It is also called as maximum retail price or just mark price. So let us see this, look at the same example. So can you spot which one is the mark price in this example? Yes, and I'm sure you got this correct. This is the mark price. 2000 rupees is the mark price. So I'll write it as mark price or markup price or mark price. You can say it any which way you want. Okay. So this is the markup price. So the price before discount is the mark price. The price after discount is the selling price. So after discount you get selling price. So I'd say after discount I get selling price. Before discount I get markup price, mark price or maximum retail price. The price that is printed in the tag, you've seen tags, right? You see usually you have tags in whatever product that you're buying. You'll always find a tag. In that it will be written as MRP. So that is what I'm talking about. So let's take this example of a jeans pant. So let us assume you go to a store and the jeans pant, I talked about a tag. The tag says 1500 rupees. Now this is the markup price. Now let's say the seller gives you a discount of 10%. Now the price you pay is 1500 minus 10% of 1500. So what is this 10 by 100 into 1500? How would you describe this? I'd say this is taking 10% of 1500. This is nothing but taking 10% of 1500. So that is what I'm doing. I'm taking 10% of 1500. This step is, that is what it is doing. So this step that you can see that is indicated by the arrow mark is telling you that we are finding the 10% of, this is 10% of 1500. So I'll also like mark it with an arrow mark like this. This is 10% of 1500. Now here the point that usually people make is, what I'm trying to do here is I'm taking 10% of 1500 and subtracting it with 1500. Why do I subtract? Because this 10% is a discount. Okay, this the reason why I subtract is because of this. This 10% is a discount. Because this 10% is discount, I'll subtract 10% of 1500 with 1500. So what is 10% of 1500? So if you calculate it, you will get 150. 10% is 150. So the final price is 1350. And as you can see, this is what we call as selling price. This 1350 is a selling price, not the 1500. 1500 is a markup price. So now let's come into the topic profit and loss. When do we say we've got profit and loss? So you'll have to uh, look at this cost price and selling price and decide if we got profit and loss. Now how do you say? When cost price is greater than selling price, it means the cost that you incurred is greater than the price that at which you sold it. So what usually happens is, here CP minus SP will give you the loss because you are not making any profit here, because you've not got back the cost that you invested, or you've not got back your investment. That is the meaning of this. Whenever cost price is greater than selling price, It means the investments that you made, all those investments you not got back in the name of profit. So in the name of profit, or in the margin of profit, you call sometimes profit is also called as margin. So in the name of profit or in the name of margin, you've not recovered your investments. So if you've recovered your investments, obviously you'll have a profit, like in this case. So cost price, when it is less than selling price, so you can see the selling price is more. When selling price is more, there will be a margin, there will be a profit. So this is what happens. Selling price minus cost price will give you a profit. So I just want to make sure you understand this with an example. So I'm going to give you an example. So let us suppose we have the cost price for your pen. Okay, you make a pen. Okay, now the cost price for this is, so I'm going to do cost price for this is 450. Okay, now what you do is you sell this pen for 400. Now what do you think will happen? Will you get a profit or a loss? Because the cost price is less than, here the cost price is greater than selling price. Yes, so you will get a loss. So that is what is going to happen. Now how do you find that loss? You do cost price minus selling price. So loss will be equal to 450 minus 400, which will be equal to 50 rupees. So this is the case, and the opposite of this. So let us suppose that we got a selling price of 450 and a cost price of 400. In this case, what happens is we get a profit. So the profit again will be 50 rupees, but this time the reason is cost price is less than the selling price. Because of this, we'll get a profit. And how do you get the profit? Subtract selling price and cost price. So if I subtract this and this, I get 50 rupees as the profit. We are revisiting a few concepts in percentages because percentages are the foundation for profit and loss. Without understanding few concepts in percentages, it is not possible for you to understand profit and loss. So we'll look at some of the concepts. Now increase a number by R percentage. How do you do that? So let's take the number to be 50. You increase 50 by 10 percentage. So the number here is 50 and the R percentage is 10 percentage. Now what happens is, so the usual method, what do you do? You take 10 percentage of 50 and then multiply it with, you add it with 50. Okay, so what happens here? I'll tell you what happens here. So in this stage, what happens is you are asked to increase 50 by 10 percentage. This is what you are asked to do. Now what you are doing is you are taking 10 percentage, which is 10 by 100 of 50, and then adding it to 50. That is increasing 50 by 10 percentage, right? If you are asked to increase 50 by 10 percentage, you take 50 and then add it, you take 10 percentage of 50 and add it to 50. That is what you're doing. Now if you see very closely, you will find that there are two terms. Okay, so here you find the first term, here is the second term. There are two terms. If you find closely, if you watch this closely, you will find there are two terms. In the first term you have a 50, in the second term also you have a 50. So I'm going to take that 50 outside. So if I take that 50 outside, I'll end up with this. So this is what I'll end up with, 1 plus 10 by 100. So this will give me 50 into 110 by 100. So this is the step that we are looking for. Now guys, while doing such calculations, whenever they ask you to increase 50 by 10 percentage, you don't need to do this step and this step. You can directly jump to this step. So that is what we are looking at. Whenever they ask you to increase 50 by 10 percentage, you just multiply 50, which is the number. Okay, so look at this 50, right? The 50 is the number. So multiply that number by, what is the percentage here? It is 10. So what have I done here? I've added 100 to 10. So multiply that number by 100 plus 10 by 100. That is all. You'll get the answer. So if you multiply the given number by 100 plus 10 by 100, which is 110 by 100, you'll get the answer. You need not worry about this and this. So this not required, not at all required. So waste of time. So don't consider the thing inside the circle. Okay. So jump, once you look at this increase 50 by 10 percent, jump to this step where you are increasing, multiplying 50 or multiplying the number by 100 plus r by 100, where r is the given percentage. Here it is 10 percentage, and we'll see how we take this forward. I will going to give you one more example. Increase 500 by 30 percentage. Now if you understood what I just told you, you can directly jump to the final step, but others just look at what I'm doing. So what I'll do is I'll find 30 percentage of 500. So that is what you have here. So this is 30 percentage of 500. Yes, this is 30 percentage of 500, and what I'll do is, and I'll add it to 500. That is how you increase 500 by 30 percentage, right? You do 30 percentage of 500 and then you add it to 500. Now let's see what happens. So again, the common thing, if you look at it, there are two terms, and the common thing is 500. Yes, if you look at it, there are two terms. This is the first term and this is the second term. Okay, and the common number that you will find is 500 in both the terms. So what I can take outside is, I can take 500 because that is the common thing I find in both the terms. If I take 500 outside, I'll be left with 1 plus 30 by 100. 1 plus 30 by 100. Now as you proceed, what will happen is, it will be 500 into 130 by 100. So as you can see guys, so you need not worry about these two steps. These two steps you need not worry about if you know that increasing 500 by 30 percentage can be accomplished by multiplying 500 by 130 by 100. How did I get this 130? I got this 130 because I added 100 to this 30 percentage. I added 100 to this 30 percentage. So in general, if it is R percentage, which is given, then the general formula for it will be, so we'll look at one more example. Increase 400 by 40 percentage. It's the same thing. Okay. So it will be 400 into 140 by 100. So general formula will be, if you want to increase N by R percentage, then your general formula that you guys need to remember is the thing here, which is marked in yellow, which is N into 100 plus R by 100. Okay, N into 100 plus R by 100. I told you, right? You add 100 to the given R percentage. Okay, so this is very important. Now we saw how to increase a number. Now we'll see how to decrease a number by R percentage. I would say it is very similar. Instead of adding, what we'll do is we'll do subtracting. You know, right? In profit percentage, you'll add. In loss percentage, you'll subtract. So we'll see how it is done. Decrease 50 by 10 percentage. So instead of adding, you are subtracting. So that is the only difference. The rest of all, it is the same. So as you can see guys, here we are asked to decrease 50 by 10 percentage. So we are asked to decrease 50 by 10 percentage. Okay. Now, if you have a close look, so we are asking us to decrease 50 by 10 percentage. So what I've done is I've taken 10 percentage of 50 and subtracted it with 50, because we are decreasing 50 by 10 percentage. Okay, so I take 10 percentage of 50 and subtracting it with 50. So again you will see that there are two terms. This is the first term, this is the second term. What are the things in common? What are the terms you would say is common? It is 50. So 50 is the common term. You take 50 out, what will happen is you are left with 1 minus 10 by 100. Now, if you do some, take the LCM and do some calculations, you will get 50 into 90 by 100. So, for you to decrease a number by 10 percentage, you have to multiply that number 50. Yes, right guys, this number 50 by what? You have to multiply this number 50 by 90 by 100. Yes, you have to multiply this number 50 into by 90 by 100. You have to multiply it by 90 by, how did you arrive at 90? See, previously we did 100 plus R. Okay, yes, we did 100 plus R. Do you remember that? To increase the number, we did 100 plus R. Here, guys, we are doing 100 minus R. This is R. 10 percentage is R. So, what is 100 minus 10? 100 minus 10 is 90. Yes, it is simple, right? There we did plus, here we are doing minus. So, we just look at one more example so that you understand it well. 500 by 30 percentage. Again, you stop the video or try finding out or jumping to the last step. Try going to the last step. You will multiply 500 by what? That is what you will have to try and understand. Now, these are the usual stuff that we do. 500 is common, take 500 outside. So you will end up with 500 into 70 by 100. And guys, you will be left with this. So you can see initially 500 is being decreased by 30 percentage, and the way we do it is multiply 500 by 70 by 100. And how did you get this 70? You got it by doing 100 minus 30. So this is nothing but 100 minus 30. 100 minus 30, where 30 is nothing but R. Okay, 30 is nothing but your R percentage. Okay, so I hope this is clear. So shall we generalize? Yes, if we are able to generalize, then we understand it even better. We are able to generalize it. I think we will get one more example. 400 by 40 percentage. So 400 into 60 by 100. So to generalize, to decrease n by R percentage, we'll do n into 100 minus R by 100. So in the previous slide, you would have seen to increase a number, we added R. Here we are subtracting R. So that is the only difference. The rest of the things are the same. There is one other concept, one final concept we have to look at percentages. We have to turn to percentages to understand this concept so that we are able to do problems in profit and loss very easily. So this is a method. This is not the normal method, guys. See, if you look at my way of solving problems in profit and loss, I'll never use a formula. I'll never use a formula in profit and loss, but just by understanding what it really is, I'll use very simple methods. So this will increase your speed and therefore giving you an edge over others. So don't mug up formulas, and if you forget the formulas, then you are done. Okay, so then you will be like in a position where you won't be able to do anything. So try to understand these concepts well, so that I don't know any formula in profit and loss, but still any problem you give me, I'll be able to do it. The reason is very simple. I understand the concept, so that is how I'm going to teach you. So that is why we are going back to percentages. So trust me and proceed. You won't have to remember any formula for doing problems in profit and loss. Now, this is the given problem. A price of a pen is increased by 10 percentage. By how much percentage should it be decreased to bring it back to the original price. Okay, so to give you some perspective, let us say, guys, that the price of a pen is 500 rupees. Now what happens is, this 500 rupees is increased by 10 percentage. If you increase it by 10 percentage, what will you get, guys? You get 550 rupees. Now, so initially it was 500. After increasing by 10 percentage, it is 550. So we could also mark it like this. I can mark it as 10% increase. Okay, so I can mark it like this. So there is an increase of 10%. Okay, now this is, we had 500, now we are having 550. Okay, my question is, if you had to bring this 550 back to 500, okay, how much percentage should you decrease? That is my question. See, going from 500 to 550, you will have to increase by 10 percentage, right? For going to 500 to 550, what you will do is, you will increase by 10 percentage. So look at this. So there should be an increase of 10 percentage when you have to go from 500 to 550. My question is, if you have to go from 550 to 500, how much percentage should I decrease? Now just think about this. If you want, you can stop the video. Think about this and tell me the answer. So if you guys said, okay, if your answer is, sir, the answer is 10 percentage, sir, okay, then you will have to rethink your answer, because the answer is not 10 percentage. I'll tell you the reason. Any two numbers will never have, so any two numbers, here it is 500 and 550, it will never have the same increase percentage and the same decrease percentage. If you increase it by 10 percentage, then you cannot decrease it by 10 percentage. We'll see what will happen if you decrease it by 10 percentage, guys. See, if you decrease it by 10 percentage, what is 10 percentage of 550? 10 percentage of 550 is, if you look at it, 10%, let's say if you are trying to decrease this by 10 percentage, so what we'll do is, so this will become 10 percentage decrease. So there will be a decrease of 10 percentage. Now if you try to do this, 10 percentage of 550 is nothing but 55. Yes. Now if you subtract 55 from 550, you're decreasing, right? So we'll subtract. What do you think will happen? 55 by 5, it will be 495. So you're not getting 500, yes, as I put it. Okay, so I wanted you to get 500, but you did not get 500. But what did you get instead? 495. So that is the reason you cannot decrease it by 10 percentage. Okay, the reason why you cannot decrease it by 10 percentage is, if you decrease it by 10 percent, you will get 495. Now what we want is 500 and not 495. So 10 percentage is not the answer. A little less than 10 percentage is the correct answer. So we'll see how to find the increase percentage and decrease percentage. Guys, this is what I call as increase percentage. So this is what I call as increase percentage. And this is what I call as decrease percentage. And be assured, for any two numbers, guys, your increase percentage and your decrease percentage will never be the same. Okay, you can write it down somewhere. For any two numbers, here it is 500 and 550, your increase percentage and decrease percentage will never be the same. Now, increase percentage or decrease percentage is found using a formula. So this is the only thing that you have to remember in this whole thing. It is difference between two numbers divided by base into 100. Difference between two numbers divided by base into 100. Now, some of you might have a problem here. How can we find two things using a single formula? So that will be the question that most of you guys would be asking me. How can you uh, do find two things using a single formula? Yes, we can do it. So I'll show it with the example that we just now used. So guys, the example is 500 to 550. Okay, this is the example. Now, if you have to move from 500 to 550, yes, guys, if you have to move from 500 to 550, you have to calculate the increase percentage, or 500 to 550 will have an increase percentage, right? Now, instead of that, if you are trying to go from 550 to 500, okay, 550 to 500, now there will be a decrease percentage. Yes, you understand this? Yes. So I'll put it in on the board so that you understand it well. So from 500 to 550, there will be a increase percentage, and opposite of that, if I have to say, I'd say it's the opposite of that. So 550 to 500. So 550 to 500, you will have what I call as the decrease percentage. So 550 to 500 is what I'll have the decrease percentage. Now let's see how we find the increase percentage and decrease percentage for it. So as I told you, we are going to use only this formula. There is only one formula. This is the only formula we are going to use to find both decrease percentage and increase percentage. So how do we do it? Let's see it. Okay, guys, if you have a close look, okay, if you have a close look, let us suppose we are trying to find the increase percentage. So first we are trying to find the increase percentage. Okay, so this is what we are going to find. So what is increase percentage? It is difference between the two numbers divided by base into 100. So I'll tell you what is the difference between two numbers, base and 100. Okay, but before that, you understand, we use this formula, difference between two numbers by base into 100. Now what we do is, there are two numbers, right? You know what those two numbers are, guys. You know very well, this is the first number, this is the second number. So you know what those two numbers are. So 500 and 550, what do you think is the difference between them? So the difference between them is 50. Okay, so difference between them is 50. So divided by, so I'll divide it. Okay, base. Now you are finding the increase percentage. Is that right? Yes. Now when you are finding the increase percentage, the base will be the number which is getting increased. Is 500 getting increased or 550 getting increased? 500 is getting increased. So base is 500. So my base will be 500 into, so I'll put an into here, into 100. So that's it. So this is my increase percentage. You solve this, you'll get your increase percentage, guys. So you very well know 50 by 500 is 10. So if you solve this, you know you are going to get 10 percentage. And we already saw that the increase percentage was 10 percentage. And the reason is because of this. Now, how did you get the 10 percentage? The rational, the logic is this. Okay. Now, what I'd say is, for you, let's see how to find decrease percentage. So let us see, on the same vein, we'll try and understand how to get the decrease percentage. Again, I told you the formula is the same. Okay, there is nothing different. We are going to use the same formula. This formula, difference between two numbers, we base into 100. Now, what is the difference between the two numbers? So these are the two numbers that we have here, 550 and 500. Their difference is again 50. So I'm going to write 50 and then divide it by the base. Now for the this example, so look at this very closely. The base that we chose is 500. Why did I choose 500 as the base? Because I told you for increase percentage, the base will be the number which is getting increased. So the number which is getting increased is 500. Then what do you think will be the base for decrease percentage? The base will be the number which is getting decreased. The number which is getting decreased is 550. So the base that I will get here is 550. So this 550 will be the base for decrease percentage. Now I'll use a multiplication symbol and then 100. Guys, 550 by 550 is 1 by 11. 100 by 11 is nothing but 9.09 percentage. If you've gone through my percentages course, you would understand how I got this answer very quickly. How did I get this 9.09 percentage very quickly? Go watch my percentage course. You will also get 9.09 percentage very quickly. So 100 to 110, we are going to take this example. Increase percentage is 10 by 100 of 100, which is equal to 10 percentage. To go from 100 to 110, there should be an increase of 10 percentage. I hope this is clear for you guys. Now to go from 110 to 100, you will have a decrease percentage, right? So this decrease percentage is what I call 10 by 100, 10 by 110. What is the reason? How did I get 10 by 110? The reason is pretty simple. Because the base here will be the number which is getting decreased. Which is the number which is getting decreased? It is 110 which is getting decreased, right? So your base is 110. So which into 100 will give you 9.09 percentage. It is just that we used a different number in the previous example. Right now we are using 110 and 100, but we're getting the same answer. To move from 110 to 100, there should be a decrease of 9.09 percentage. So we are also doing one more example, 500 to 600. So 600 to 500. So as you can see guys, here what I'm doing is I'm increasing 500 to 600 and I'm decreasing 600 to 500. So here I'll have an increase percentage. Here I'll have a decrease percentage. You are seeing what I'm trying to do. Yes, hope you understood what I'm trying to do. Now the increase percentages, now you will have to do it. So try it on your own and pause the video, try it on your own, find both the increase and decrease percentages, then we'll continue this course. Now your increase percentage will be 100 by 500, where 500 is the, what is 500 guys? 500 is the number which is getting increased. Yes, so 500 is your base. So if you solve this, you will get 20 percentage, and to find the decrease percentage, you will find that it is 16.66 percentage. And just pay close attention to what the base is. Base is the number which is getting decreased. So my base here is 600. Profit percentage. How do you find profit percentage? You are not only required to find profit, you are also required to find profit percentage. So you guys know, I'll tell an easy method. Just with what you understood now, you can easily find the profit percentage. So I'm going to tell you how you find the profit percentage. Now we just saw an example. Remember, I told you you have two numbers. Now it is 500 and 600. From 500 to 600, there is going to be an increase, right? Because you have an increase, there is going to be an increase percentage. Yes, you saw that, right? So that is what you are going to see here, guys. Because you 500 to 600, there is an increase. There is going to be an increase percentage. But before that, I want to map a few things. Now we are going to jump from percentage to profit and loss. So I'm going to look at 500 in a different way. I'm not going to look at 500 in the same way that we looked at in the previous slide. Okay. Now 500, what it has become for me is 500 has become the cost price. What has 600 become? 600 has become the selling price. Okay. Now you guys very well know wherever cost price is less than selling price, what do you get, guys? Look at the cost price and selling price. Now the cost price is this 500, selling price is this 600. Yes. Now you can also say for sure the cost price is less than selling price. Yes. Now what does it mean? It means we have a profit, guys. It means we have a profit. See, that is the reason why we have a profit percentage. Okay. Because we have profit, we have a profit percentage. You very well know when a number increases from 500 to 600, you will have an increased percentage. Yes. And it is not a surprise because you have an increased percentage in and you have a profit. Increased percentage and profit percentage are the same things. Yes, you got how I mapped percentages to profit and loss. Increased percentage and profit percentage are the same things. So given cost price and selling price, if they ask you to find profit percentage, what will you do? Given cost price and selling price, if they ask me to find profit percentage, what I'll do is very simple. I'll just find the increased percentage between those two numbers. I'll get the profit percentage, right? So this is how you do things easily, or do things without using formulas and do things quickly. So increase percentage is all that I need to find the profit percentage. So my profit percentage will become my increase percentage. And if you want to cross reference, the formula for profit percentage is SP minus CP into 100, which is looks very similar to this, right? Did you notice this? Look at this. This and this look very similar. Okay, so I don't need to remember this formula. I don't need this formula at all. Okay, so I don't need this. I'll cross this out. I don't need this. Just by knowing how to find increase percentage, I'll be able to find the profit percentage. Now, what is loss percentage? Yes, you guessed it right. It is decrease percentage. Okay, or sometimes we call it discount. When people give discount, they are making a loss. The seller is making a loss, guys. So it is the decrease percentage. So here what will be the CP? 600 will be the CP. SP will be 500, because you know in a transaction where there is loss, you will have the cost price to be more. Yes, you understand that well, right? When there is a transaction which is making loss, the cost price will be more than the selling price. So here I can write decrease percentage. So I'm going to find the decrease percentage. To find the decrease percentage, I can also, if you find the decrease percentage, I also find the loss percentage, guys. So it is as simple as that. Now, let us see how this maps here. So the decrease percentage, you know, how to get decrease percentage? 100 by 600 by 100 into 100 will give you 16.66 percentage, guys. And this decrease percentage is also called as loss percentage or discount percentage. And you can cross verify it with the formula for loss percentage. If you cross verify it, you will find that this is the same as this. Okay, and like I told you, you don't need to remember this. Just by finding the decrease percentage, you will be able to easily find the loss percentage, because decrease percentage and loss percentage are the same things. Okay, not very different things. And when CP is less than SP, you have a profit. When the cost price is greater than SP, you will have a loss. Guys, when cost price is equal to SP, what do you have? You have no profit and no loss. So just give me a minute, guys. Something. Yeah, you'll have no profit and no loss. Okay, but there is a situation. For example, this is the situation. Now the cost price of 7 chocolates is equal to selling price of 8 chocolates. Okay. Now you tell me, in this situation, is cost price less than selling price or is it greater than selling price? Pay close attention. You will find here cost price is equal to selling price. Okay. And you would assume that there is no profit and no loss, but that is not the case. Okay. If you assume there is no profit and no loss here, it is not the case. There is a profit or loss. Now, how do you find the profit or loss? There is a formula for it, but what is the reason for that? Okay, why do you have a profit or loss? Okay, so this is the formula for it. Okay, so I'll just give you an explanation of this formula, but this is the formula for finding the profit percentage or loss percentage when the cost price and selling price are equal. So here cost price and selling price are equal. So here this is the formula that you use to find the profit or loss percentage. But why do you have, so you said you don't have a profit or loss, right? I just told you you never have a profit or loss when the cost price and selling price are equal. But why do I say it is wrong? Why do I say there is a profit or loss? Okay, I'll tell you the reason. It is because of this reason. It is because of unequal quantities. Look at the quantities, guys. It is 7 here. Look at the quantities. It is 8 here. Okay. If you look at the quantities, you will find it is 7 there. It is 8 here. Okay. When the quantities are equal, you can say if it was cost price of 8 chocolates equal to selling price of 8 chocolates, then no profit, no loss will make sense. Okay. This will make sense if the quantities are equal. But when the quantities are not equal, you are not going to get no profit no loss. Okay, you are going to get some profit or loss percentage because of unequal quantities, and these types of problems are called unequal quantity problems. And especially this formula that you have is what I call as unequal quantity problem formula. Okay, where the buying quantity here is this. CP is buying, right? Cost price is for buying, so buying quantity is 7, selling quantity is 8. So the selling quantity here is 8 and the buying quantity here is 7. Okay, just substitute it in the formula, you'll get the answer in no time. Okay, so that's this is the basic that you have to understand to do profit and loss easily.